Now, in 1974, Major League pitcher Tommy John took the risk and had a surgery that had never been done before. The revolutionary procedure now bears his name. Amy sat down with Tommy John and his son, Dr. Tommy John III, to learn more about this game-changing procedure and why athletes should be careful about rushing into the operating room.
Tommy John surgery, a procedure that many sports fans, many people have heard this name before, but not everybody really knows exactly what it is. Can you kind of walk us through exactly what this procedure is?
On the inside of your elbow, there's a little short piece of ligament. It's about maybe an inch and a half long, and I disintegrated it. And when Dr. Job opened me up, he said it looked like a bowl of spaghetti. The fibers all over the place. And that holds the elbow intact. So when Dr. Job told me what he had in mind, I said, what else? And he said, nothing. And my comment to him was, let's do it.
57% of all surgeries are done on kids between 15 and 19 years old. Dr. John, I'll come to you on this. Why is this surgery becoming so prevalent among youth today?
The leading risk factor is specializing in your sport prior to 13 or 14 years old. It's like a 70 to 90% increase in injuries across the board. And I was a part of that. But you got showcases, clinics, camps, indoor facilities. I did over 11,000 baseball lessons. I was the guy. And I started to see these trends going between 10 and 12 years old. Things that I was treating in the 40, 50, 60-year-old person was showing up in that. I'm like, something's wrong. I can't affect it with this baseball lesson at X number of dollars. I'm going to shut down my school. I'm going to go back to chiropractic school, and I'm going to get ahead of this thing. And then what I saw, it's only gotten worse since 2000. I mean, it's been 15 years since I've seen all this, and it's progressively getting worse and worse.
So you're seeing kids that have symptoms that you normally see 50, 60-year-olds?
Well, yeah, because we look at everyone, oh, you're 13, you're supposed to go this way. Everybody develops at different rates, at different times. We're trying to squeeze them into this box and push a square peg in a round hole. Who's paying the price? Are these kids.
These kids are. One thing that really jumps out to me about this procedure, the Tommy John procedure, is that a lot of times guys are coming back stronger after they have this procedure. Why does that happen? And doesn't that kind of give you an incentive, especially if you're a parent, to wear your kid out a little bit?
Like 90% come back to pitch one pitch at the level they were at before. That's not success to me. Keep going. 60-some compete 3 years later. Still not. Who's lasting? So again, coming back stronger, but you don't last, that's not a success story to me. You know what I mean? Or we get somebody that gets to the big leagues and can last 1 month. The system's not really doing well. So again, you don't want any kind of surgery, let alone this Tommy John surgery. Only in the professional who absolutely has to have it to provide for his family with his gift that he was given. This is what we want to do, and that's where it started with him.
Some parents think, oh, my son's a pitcher, he's going to need, if we give him Tommy John surgery, he's going to throw harder. Bull. Bull. No, that's not going to happen. If he's hurt, you fix the problem, he might throw harder.
But you're saying there's no guarantee?
No, not at all.
When you see the way this sports world has evolved today for these kids and the youth sports across the country, what do you think, as somebody from a different generation who had surgery for an entirely different reason, what do you think of the way things have evolved?
I feel sorry for him. There was no pressure on us. My first year that Mom and Dad signed me up for baseball was City Rec baseball. I was 8 years old. There was another kid coaching the team. Let's see, I was 8, he was probably 12, 13. And he just filled out a lineup. Here you are. I played left field, I played shortstop, I played third base. Shoot, I never pitched until the third game, and they said, oh, do you pitch? I said, yes. And I mean, I threw the ball all over the place. But there wasn't pressure on us to do any of these things. Now, I feel sorry for the kids. I really and truly do.
It's not isolated to baseball. We've got concussions up. We've got pediatric ACL tears. Pediatric ACL tears. And then we've got stress fractures and spines, and you've even got people coming across into my office dealing with anxiety and depression, being medicated for kids because of their inability to perform in youth sports. So it's not a baseball problem, it's across all sports, and all ages are suffering. So here's the compounding causes that I've come up with. One, kids are malnourished, overfed, and improperly hydrated, inadequately hydrated. Now, they're not going outside and moving their bodies to develop their motor programs. Instead, they're sitting in front of screens. Besides just being inactive, and posture affected, it's lowering their immune systems, and it's creating these neuromotor immature competitors and human athletes, whether you play a sport or not, because I have numbers coming into my office, they're not even playing sports, and are experiencing these same things.
Physically?
Physically and emotionally, intellectually. Like, take all those. So it's so much bigger than sport. That's why we got to look at what's going on in our culture. We've got overstimulated and less aware kids. They're just disconnected from these vital processes that basically promote healing. Then you have the big elephant in the room, the youth sports industry. It's $17 billion with a B.
Yeah. One of the things the book talks about is that impactful time, age 0 to 13, the most impactful time on a child's growth as an athlete. What are some ways that can be better cultivated? What solutions are you proposing?
So the way I put it in the book, and it's simple to implement, but it has to be different for everyone. These are just principles because every family is different. We need to rethink the way we're raising our kids and the way we're looking at youth sports. We need to replenish, bringing back real foods, bringing back nourishment that boost performance and promote healing as well. We need to rebuild these kids, basically putting them in environments where they have to be physically competent, using their bodies more and more and more. And finally, where the magic all lies after the rebuild process, it's the recovery. Kids need time to recover from just normal wear and tear from play, from life, let alone a sporting event. And kids understanding that they develop at different times. Research is showing that whoever was elite before 12 anyway isn't good later, so I don't know why we're trying to draw that out right away. You need to empower yourself. You have to have a plan, because if you don't, the other families are going to come at you. And the organizations are going to come at you, and they're going to be real clever. The research is on your side. The science is on everybody's side doing the opposite. Like, it's on the side of the minority. Just empower yourself and say, this is what we're going to do. In the book, there's 98 sources. Arm yourself. And then you've got this plan, and nobody can check you, because it's your plan. And then guess what? Years later, as this whole thing develops, you will be one of the few not being a statistic.
The book is Minimize Injury, Maximize Performance, a Sports Parent's Survival Guide. Again, Dr. Tommy John. Tommy John, thank you so very much for joining us.
Appreciate it.